Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood, and I'm here with director and writer Shaz Bennett with her movie Alaska is a Drag. Let's take a look at a clip.
All right, you got 2 minutes. If he's not here in 2 minutes, I'm calling this fight off. Got it? Forfeit. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Sorry, I'm here. Here. I'm ready to rumble. Is that what they say? Sorry. Here. Let's take this. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
Get these gloves on.
Excuse me, ma'am? There must be some sort of... Oh, hell no. What the fuck is this?
What?
Are you even a man?
Congratulations, Shaz, on your movie.
Thank you so much.
You took me on such a great journey. I want the whole world to see it. But for those that haven't, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
I like to describe it as like it's, you know, Hedwig meets Grace Jones, Creed.
I mean, why would you not want to watch it? I mean, it's brilliant.
It's about a kid who's growing up in Alaska who dreams of being a drag queen, works in a fish cannery, and he gets beat up a lot, and he has to sort of learn to fight back out of necessity, and then because he's quite good at it, he gets recruited to be on the boxing team.
And it's just a brilliant journey. Where did the inspiration come for you in writing the story?
I worked in a fish cannery in Alaska.
There you go.
And, you know, you tend to slice fish all day, and it's just like really boring job, and it's very monotonous, and so you tend to daydream. So I, you know, way back even then, I thought it was an interesting place to set a film. And then in general, I'm kind of interested in gender roles and what's considered masculine, what's considered feminine, and why is one maybe, some people would say, better than the other.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sort of explore that, and I thought like drag queens and boxers are sort of like the funhouse mirrors of each other. So they're sort of don't really even exist. That kind of masculinity and that kind of femininity doesn't hardly exist in real life. So I wanted to kind of play around with that. And then just, you know, I'm from Utah originally, and when I moved to Alaska to raise money to move to New York City to be a superstar. So
Which you are.
obviously there is some, you know, biographical elements of the film, but I find like places like Utah and Alaska, they're so stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like that, like the landscape itself is just beyond gorgeous, but they can also be sort of isolating and unforgiving at times. So I thought making this character, which is very much based on me, but it's based on the actor too. You know, when we worked on the short film, you know, we took a lot of elements from his life too, I think.
And I mean, I just fell in love with your cast. Like every single character, I felt like, you know, their story, but they're just obviously brilliantly talented as well. How was the casting process for you?
I wrote the feature first, and then I was accepted into the AFI directing workshop for women with a shorter version. I decided to make a short version to help me, you know, raise money and show the world, you know, because it's definitely like a world that hasn't been seen very often on film.
Yeah.
So I think that making that short film was really helped me ground the characters and make them more real. But when I was casting, I looked at like 150 kids to play the lead character, Leo, and Martin L. Washington Jr.
Brilliant.
You know, he just was always the one to beat, and he sort of stalked me on Facebook, and
you know, he wants that role, right? Yeah.
He was like, this is my whole life story, and he did drag, and he, you know, had been beat up as a kid and had a very kind of tough dad and a semi-absent mom for some parts in his, you know, early life. So he really connected to the role. And then when we were casting for the feature, you know, so he was always going to be the feature.
I couldn't imagine anyone else playing it. Like it was, he's
the only one. But in the short, there wasn't a twin. But that was always in the feature version. So we were trying to find someone that was, you know, could be Martin's twin. And we found, Martin turned me on to Maya Washington. She's kind of a big YouTube star. And it's interesting because they share the same last name and the same ethnicity. They're both half black and half Filipino, but they're not related, and they, you know, Maya grew up in Toronto, and Martin grew up in Philadelphia. So
it's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that they had the, you know, same past, and they, you know, but I wasn't familiar with her, but Martin was like, she kind of looks like me, like watch her YouTube, and then she's really like charming, and so then I had the twins, and then it was just sort of rounding out the rest of the cast, and knowing that we would hopefully want a couple of, you know, cameo roles, and I always just loved the idea of Jason Scott Lee as, like, you know, Dragon being the. You know,
I mean, listen. I mean, How did you? I mean, because I mean, of course, you had these great stars. I mean, you know, leading the way for you. But you did have some pretty awesome cameo appearances as well.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go about that as a director? I mean, of course, you might have friends, but how do you go about that?
Well, I mean, we had a casting agency, and then, you know, it was like writing a lot of impassioned letters, and just like, you were the only one I ever could see it, and
it
I
worked.
mean, it was interesting because Jason and Margaret Cho, I always thought they were just like, I just love the idea of like the one gay bar in 100 miles, and Margaret Cho is the
Oh, wouldn't you just love it? I know, I love it.
The you know, bartender. So
it's brilliant.
And I, you know, I didn't get to meet a lot of the actors, the more famous actors, before meeting them on set, but I did speak to them on the phone, and got to, like, you know, tell them my vision and why I wanted them to do it, and I think they were just down for it. Margaret was so great, 'cause she, you know, there's actually 2 of her songs. She's in a band, and when I started talking to her, she was like, "Oh, I love it. I'm in a band, and I do king drag," and, you know, so she kind of even added herself into scenes that weren't even that big of moments. But I was like, oh, now I have Margaret Cho, so I did a rewrite to, like,
and a big icon in the LGBTQ community as well.
She's
so
amazing.
Yeah. No, it's really fantastic. I think one of the things I love about you as a director is that, you know, it's like you knew how to go with feature, and then you got into this fantastic program at AFI. You made a shorter version, and then you're like, I want these people, and here you are. You did it all, which is great to sort of like visualize it and then say, I want to do it. What was there any challenges for you, or was it all easy all the way through?
There were so many challenges. I mean, there continues to be challenges. You know, we set out to make this little movie, and, you know, Martin and Maya and I did a Kickstarter and raised $50,000.
Congratulations.
And then I had raised some money, you know, privately, and then, you know, some producers came in and we're going to raise more money, and then some of that money fell apart, and you know, so it's like, I always kind of jokingly now refer to this as sort of my film school. Like, even I'm paying off the debt of my film school. So instead of going to AFI or USC or something and walking away with a $100,000 loan, I just walk away with a couple of that much or more.
That's that's really, really great. I think that's great.
It took me a while to get there. I was very upset about it for many years.
No. Well, I'm glad that you did do that. Honestly, what do you, having obviously been through this, what do you feel now that you've done it? Like, with the certain things that you've learned, like that you've kind of learned as a filmmaker.
Well, I think you know, I started as a film programmer. I'm like I said, I'm from Utah, and I started at Sundance originally, and I would listen to filmmakers talk about their stories, and, you know, I was taking tickets at like 14 years old, and I would listen to filmmakers tell their story, and I would always kind of take little pieces, but you can't really, I don't know that you can really learn until you're doing, you know? So one of the best things that I think just the experience alone was finishing it, doing it, you know? But then even that reminded me, like, you know, like I hadn't made another movie in a year, and it was just like, okay, well, let's make another movie. I don't have any money. Let's make another movie, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a director. I want to direct. So I, you know, went and shot a tiny little movie in December and out in the desert, you know?
Yeah.
So I think going forward, every time you do it, you learn something new. But the advice I always tell filmmakers is just go out and make it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Don't wait for someone to tell you can. Because even if you had, you know, $10, it's very possible to make a film.
In this day and age, definitely, yeah, that's right.
Necessarily, it's hard to make a $10 feature.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with name actors, but you know, I think just having done that was such a great experience. And then I work in television, so it's been great to be able to sit. I'm a writer in TV, so it's been great to sit behind directors and watching them direct and just taking, you know, little pieces that they would do. And taking that going forward, I hope to, you know, my next feature, my next feature, my next feature.
What is next for you?
Well, I just did my first episode of TV. I directed an episode of Queen Sugar, so that was amazing.
Oh, amazing! My friend was in that. That's great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and that was incredible experience.
Yeah.
So I want to direct more television. I write on this TV show Bosch on Amazon, so I definitely want to write more. I want to be Vince Gilligan or, you know, Ava DuVernay, or, you know, I want to write and direct and create and work in all mediums. So I have, you know, pilots I'm pitching and features I'm pitching, and they're all at various stages. But I always feel like I'm hustling 10 projects at once.
But it's great though, isn't it? Because I mean, obviously some come before others. You never know when, you know, the one of the 10 is going to be sort of like coming to fruition, or you know, you never know how it's going to go.
I was just talking to a friend of mine who was like, I'm going to make this movie and this movie and this movie. I'm like,
I can't,
How do you know which one you're going to make first?
Exactly, and who knows what's going to happen. You can't put your eggs in one basket, can you, as well? I think that's lovely. You said you moved to New York to be a superstar. I think you are a superstar. Like, honestly, of all the things that you are doing and accomplished, and just not being afraid to go out there and do it, I think that's such an important thing for a filmmaker to know, because I think there's a lot of holdback of like, can I do this, you know, and I think you're a great example of someone's like, I'm making this happen no matter what anybody says, and look at the result. I mean, it's brilliant. So yeah, no, we love having you. How was your experience at NewFilmmakers LA? Was it great to be part of this, particularly the, you know, LGBTQ Pride Month as well? It means so much to the community to see, you know. I mean, we're right in West Hollywood now, and there's some of the greatest drag queens, you know, in the country right here, and it's so meaningful, isn't it, to have that as part of the community?
It was a really fun screening last night. It was a great event, and I met a lot of people, and people were really like engaged, which I think that's one of the things that's so great about film festivals and events like this, is that you're creating more of your community. And, you know, like someone said to me the other day, like, you network side to side, you know, versus like trying to network up. And I was like, oh, that's so true. Because like that's honestly true. As everyone who's ever helped me, I've known them for a long time, and finally we're at a place where we can, you know, bring each other up and help support each other. So, but I love, like, my movie is such an origin story. You know, it's like, you know, he's never performed drag until he does the first time in front of an audience. Like he does it with his sister, walking in the paths of Alaska. But and I think how important it is, even now, like we're in the middle of West Hollywood and we're in LA, and we're so lucky to be in a community that supports and loves, you know,
most
queer,
definitely,
film and queer people. But there are many places that I've been in that are still not quite there, you know, so it's like I really want to get this movie out to them so that they can find it and see that, you know, there's other people, there's other ways, and that's what I love about, like, finding your community, whatever that is. If you're a filmmaker or a drag queen or, you know, boxing or whatever it is, you'll find your people that are going to be your lifelong supporters.
I love that you said that. I think it's really important. I think sometimes when you're in such a loving environment like West Hollywood, where, you know, we accept you no matter where you are, who you love, reaching out to the communities, to, you know, people to see people that maybe live slightly different to how they live, and, you know, show the love and show the, you know, the things that people go through, and going into communities where, you know, it may not be as prominent as what it is here in West Hollywood. I think that's so important, isn't it? Because film is such a powerful, you know, powerful platform for everyone to see, and
being, like, truly representative of what those communities are. And, you know, I feel really lucky that that this film has been, like, it's interesting because we've been playing in, you know, women director festivals and Asian festivals and African American festivals and queer festivals, and then just festivals named after cities.
You're just ticking all the great boxes, aren't you? I love it. It's great.
It's like each of them come with a certain lens, and yet hopefully they're just going to respond to real characters that they like and see themselves in.
Yeah. Well, we responded, and thank you. I can't wait to see much more of your work. Congratulations on all the other things that you're accomplishing, and no, please keep coming with your projects because we adore your work. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks
Shaz, Bennett, everyone. Thank you very much.
Everybody.